Hey guys, welcome to Critical Beauty. Today, I'd like to share with you my experience with the Miss USA 2024 pageant that took place in Los Angeles, California a few days ago. But before I continue, if you're new to this channel, welcome. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button and the bell icon below to get instant notification for the next video. The first time I covered Miss USA was back in 2005 in Baltimore, Maryland. And at that time, there was no iPhone, no social media, and online bullying was unheard of. Fast forward to 2024, 19 years later, and I found myself covering Miss USA 2024 with only my iPhone, USB cables, and battery chargers. I did not have any sophisticated video equipment, no microphone, no videographer. It was just little old me. So I arrived in Los Angeles in late morning of July 31st, Wednesday, and checked in at the Biltmore Hotel where the girls had been staying. Now, Biltmore is like one of the most beautiful and most luxurious hotels I've ever stayed in. As soon as I walked in the main lobby, I instantly fell in love with the lavish decor and its glamorous ambiance. You can watch my earlier video where I give my first impressions of the hotel and my first coverage of the event right here. First of all, I'm so proud to say that Critical Beauty was the only pageant vlogger invited to cover Miss USA. To me, it was such a big honor, and I've never felt so special in my life. So I wish to thank Layla Rose, the CEO and president of the Miss USA organization, for granting me a VIP pass, which allowed me to access the backstage, where the real action takes place, and to access all the activities related to the pageant. Now, this was also the first time that I had backstage access to any pageant, considering that I have been covering pageants for over 20 years. Imagine my excitement to see all the action behind the screen and to interact with the production crew and the girls. So the first event that I covered was the Preliminaries of Miss Teen USA 2024, held that same evening, followed by the combined teen and Miss State costume competition. During the athletic wear competition, Miss West Virginia Teen USA, Olivia Travis, fell into the pit, but quickly recovered and even gave the audience a big smile. And after the state costume show, Miss Iowa USA Mackenzie Ariana Carey also fell into the pit, while several of the contestants rushed to pull her out to safety. Luckily, she was okay. Now, I heard that day, July 31st, was the first time that the Miss contestants had seen the stage, so imagine that they did not have enough time to survey the layout of the stage and to practice walking. Anyway, thank God nobody was seriously hurt, and like real troopers, the girls forged ahead into the competition. Now, just to make sure that no further mishaps would occur, the stage director wisely decided to cover the two pit sections. Okay, so let's talk about the show, which was broadcast live on the CW channel and took place at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles. Now, first, the simplicity of the production as was shown on stage. I mean, there's no doubt that the crew backstage, as well as the cameraman, did a phenomenal job managing the technical aspect of the show. Now, speaking of the cameraman, thank God for these guys, because they have the most difficult task of catching the right angles while carrying a heavy equipment on stage. Now, when I say simplicity, I mean basic. So the girls enter the stage without introducing themselves, so we did not hear what they initially sounded like. The background music was nothing memorable, and I wonder why the theme song Miss USA was never played, not even once, during the entire show. Now, all 51 contestants looked stunning in their glittering, shiny dresses, but I would have wanted to see them perform at least a short opening number, because it would have certainly made the opening more animated and exciting. I also noticed that there were no musical guests, just like last year. Now, let's talk about the presenters. This was the second year in a row that E! News journalist Kelty Knight co-hosted the show. Last year, she co-hosted the show with Adrian Balin Houghton, who was supposed to co-host again this year, but for an unknown reason, Adrian could not make it and was replaced by actress Garcelle Beauvais. Now, I like the chemistry between the two women, but sometimes there were moments when Kelty had more control over Garcelle. The color commentators were Morgan Romano, Miss USA 2022, and makeup artist and social media influencer Patrick Starr, whose shimmering gold outfit with matching turban and whose big personality outshined Morgan and even the outgoing Queen Savannah Gankowitz. I thought that both Patrick and Morgan did an outstanding job commentating, and I didn't sense any competition between the two of them. Now, let's move on to the stage decoration. I've read some comments on social media by fans who thought that the stage looked basic and not as colorful or interesting compared to previous editions. I would tend to agree. It was great that LED lights were used to illuminate the stage, but I would have liked if they had shown on the background still images or images in motion of the girls, doing several activities, or even the same motif changing in different colors. Now, some of you may have noticed that the two pits had been removed to prevent the girls from accidentally falling into them, like what had happened to Miss West Virginia Teen USA during the prelims. The last thing we need are girls wearing their gorgeous gowns and having freaky accidents. And by covering the pits, it made the stage look even bigger and more complete. Now, let's talk about the judges. It was supposed to be a predominantly female jury that included former title holders Carol Gist, Miss USA 1990, and Lou Parker, Miss USA 1994, and one male judge, singer Gavin DeGraw. But Gavin could not make it and was replaced by shoe designer Jojo Bergais, making a total of 7 judges. I thought the panel was quite diverse, as it also included entrepreneurs, a TV personality, and a motivational speaker. Now let's move on to the top 20. So Massachusetts was called first. I think she was practically on everyone's list. Melissa Sapini, Miss Massachusetts, is a definite head turner. And because of her Haitian background, fans are now wishing her that she should sign up for Miss Universe Haiti in the future. And if she does, I will be more than happy to support her because she practically lives in the town next over. Every girl worked really hard this year, and to me, it was one of the most competitive Miss USAs ever. So it was not easy to pick my favorites. There were states that it was certain would make the cut, in addition to my home state, Massachusetts, such as Texas, Virginia, New York, California, Kentucky, Michigan, and Ohio. Of course, I based my choices on what I've seen during the preliminaries, and since none of us knew how the girls did during the closed-door interviews, I could only assume that most of my favorites would either make the cut or not at all. Fortunately, they all made the cut. Every girl who made the top 20 all deserved to be there. Well, there were a few surprises. Even though Texas made the top 10, she failed to advance to the top 5. As you know, Texas always sends very strong representatives every year, so I was shocked that the beautiful Ariana Ware did not even advance further. During the top 20 swimsuit round, the girls chose swimsuit designs that suited their taste and unique physique. Some of them chose to wear a cape and some did not. In this round, the girls that drew my attention were Texas, Michigan, Massachusetts, Kentucky, Tennessee, who at 6'4" is the tallest with a pair of mile-long legs, and Kansas, who at 19 is the youngest from this group and whose face should really grace the cover of Vogue magazine. After the swimsuit segment, 10 girls had to be eliminated, and the remaining 10 continued on to the evening gown competition. All 10 girls wore the same gowns from the prelims, and each dress reflected their personality and sense of style. Now, in this segment, the gowns that I liked were those of Massachusetts, who looked regal in a chocolate colored dress and with her hair in a bun, Texas in her mermaid cut orange gown, Colorado in her red number with fringes, and even Kentucky, even though I didn't like her big bird yellow gown the first time I saw it during the prelims because I felt that it swallowed her. It sort of grew on me, and she definitely stood out in a lineup. After the evening gown segment came the selection of the top 5 finalists, who then had to give an answer to the final question, which was, how can we bridge the gap between different cultures and foster understanding and respect? Michigan was the first to answer. Even though her response had substance and depth, she didn't really answer the question, which focused more on her accomplishments. Her answer would perhaps have been perfect if the question had been about defining success or breaking barriers. Now, Kentucky's answer focused on the importance of education and how it should be accessible to everyone, and that finding information could sometimes be a barrier. I thought her answer was on point, but her delivery lacked impact. Now, Tennessee answered that we need to listen to and respect each other, which I thought was basic and needed some elaboration. Oklahoma said something about working with diverse people who all share the same mission and that they should all support each other, which barely answered the question. Now, Ohio stated that there's so much more that brings us together than keeps us apart, and that pain and other challenges are things that bring us together. Now, Ohio's answer to me was the best because it was the closest to the question, and the fact that she spoke so elegantly and with poise compelled me to think that she could take it all. But I guess the stars were not aligned for her to win. So, was I content with the results? Honestly, yes. But as a pageant vlogger, I attended the pageant not to cheer or support for specific contestants, but for all of the contestants. So for me, it didn't matter who won or who plays because my main objective was to vlog about the event. I think that the judges had a very difficult task of selecting the winner, and I trust their judgment, and they believe that Michigan deserves the crown based on her overall performance, which has been consistently good. There were some memorable moments during the show, like the presentation of Myrna Hansen, Miss USA 1953 and first runner-up to Miss Universe 1953, who was in the audience and who was awarded the Miss USA Hall of Fame title. I also liked the video segment of Savannah Gankowicz, the outgoing Miss USA, and former queens Myrna Hansen, Carol Gist, and Morgan Romano sharing highlights from their respective reigns. However, I was expecting a tribute to Jackie Lowery, the first Miss USA, who passed away on February 23rd, 2024 at the age of 93. As far as the overall production quality is concerned, it was more or less similar to last year's. Now, if you read my review of last year's show, check the description box for the link, you will notice that most of the elements from last year have been recycled for this year. The fact that there was no entertainment and no additional features that could have made the show more exciting is clearly an indication of a low-budget production. However, there comes a time when you have to make an executive decision to sacrifice some elements for the sake of producing a low-budget show without necessarily sacrificing the most important objective, which is to run a 2-hour show smoothly, without controversy, and crowning a phenomenal winner. And this was exactly what the Miss USA organization has successfully accomplished. Now, for the fans who felt that the show did not live up to their expectations, I recommend that you write to Layla Rose and tell her how you feel. She is a reasonable and approachable woman who is open to suggestions and constructive criticism. And there you have it, my review of the Miss USA 2024 pageant. Do you agree or disagree? Comment below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, like, comment, and share. And please help this channel grow by subscribing. Thank you for watching, guys. Until the next time, bye.